Welcome to the show. If you can't find any reason to get excited about the names at the top of the ticket this November, perhaps you'll find solace in the choices we face for our local offices. Last week we got to hear from the folks running for the Board of Education at the Chamber Forum. Ron, what say you about the Board of Ed race?
I was at the Chamber Forum and I enjoyed what they had to say, enjoyed the depth of conversation, and I think with those that were there that are competing for those 4 open seats, there will be some new people on the school board. And I think that will be healthy, and I think there was a good dialogue. There was people that got right to the point, people that seemed to care about education and about kids. And I think it's at a level, because this is a very important school board election, to ensure that some of the problems I think that we've experienced there over the last couple of years and some of the controversies that prevail, we need to change some of the dynamics. And I think those dynamics will be changed.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely been a lot of controversy. I more liken it to a circus sometimes. Something that really sticks out in my mind was Stan Stauffer's remarks on high school diploma not being enough. I have to disagree with him. And the reason I disagree is because some of the most successful people that I know never have more than a high school education, and they are still doing quite well for themselves because they went into business for themselves. It's not just a matter of having a path to college. We need to have a path for all students, even the ones who aren't going to go to college. So that was one of the things that stuck out in my mind. I strongly have to disagree with Mr. Stauffer on that.
You're looking at it, and I'm not proud of it at all. I did not graduate from college. I won a full athletic scholarship to the University of Maryland in 1960-61. I went to Maryland for a year. I was totally not prepared to go to Maryland. Came home and got a summer job at Mac, and stayed there because I was not equipped to be in college. I wasn't a college person. But diligence, military background, doing a lot of different things, doing homework to understand issues, getting involved in the community. I doubt that it would work today as well, but I'm not so sure that everybody has to go to college, nor is everybody prepared to go to college. What do you think, Jim?
I think absolutely. I think that I know plenty of people that are not college graduates that have done very well for themselves too. I think that from my perspective, that is a piece. I think that if you don't go to college, in some ways you pay for it in your early career because you have to make up that knowledge through the School of Hard Knocks. So maybe the college education, but I don't think it's the end-all be-all key to success. I think that, and this is something I've heard Dr. Wilcox talk about, I think the key is that if you're not going to college, you have that trade type education. You know, there's a difference between just a college education and being educated. And yep. I really believe that if you adopt, and HCC is famous for this saying, if you adopt education as, if you consider it lifelong learning, whether it's in a single class right. at HCC or whether it's doing something independently or whether it's working with others, that's the key. One of the things I want to get to about the Board of Education race, you know, if you look at the candidates this time, you have representatives from business, you have Peter Bickford, you have Donna Brightman, you have those types of people.
Al Martin.
Al Martin,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and Al is particularly interesting because he's also got a very strong financial background, and
right.
since they spend, what, $300 million plus a year, that might be an interesting side to have. You have some ex-educators with Murray and Stauffer and Williams, and then you have the eclectic. I like to call Wayne Ridenauer the eclectic candidate because he has, I think, a myriad of skill sets. what is your opinion on the mix? Should it be all business? Should it be all ex-teachers, ex-educators? Should there be a mix? What is that right mix?
I think it needs to be a mix of all of them. I mean, you need to have people with good financial background, but at the same time, you need people who understand education. You know, and you don't want to elect all people that agree on the same thing. All right, you know, Ron and I talk about this a lot. You know, if you and I agree on the same thing, well, one of us is unnecessary. You know, we want differing opinions on the board because differing opinions is how you get progress done.
I agree, and you know, a couple times I've saying, sometimes I think we're getting too many teachers elected to the school board. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It depends if there's an agenda. If there's an agenda with a bunch of teachers because of something that may has happened, to go after the superintendent or go after staff or to go after somebody, then I find that that shouldn't be. But
well, and I got to chime in on that one just very quickly, and I'll give you the floor back. But I absolutely agree, because I think, particularly in the last couple of cycles, we've had people that are there as one-trick ponies. They want to go after Dr. Wilcox. They want to go after this or that or the other thing that they think they've been harmed on. And I find that extremely problematic.
You know, I think it was Wayne Ridenhour that said this. I could be wrong. I remember it being said, though, was that right now the Board of Education is basically one vote away from taking steps backwards instead of going forwards. So if you get
any particular steps you're talking about?
I'm just saying, you know, what was said, but I agree with him, because, you know, look at all the progress that we've made with BISFA, all the progress that we've made with, hey, we've got iPads in the schools now for all the students. Now, there's some people that don't think that's a good idea. I think it's wonderful that we're embracing technology, as long as we aren't too focused on that technology, because we still got to have the teaching in there. You know, personally, there are definitely factions in the board right now, and if we aren't careful, one of those factions may end up overwhelming the board.
Yeah. So,
you know, Ken, I've heard you talk several times about the iPads. I'm going to have something I really enjoy doing on this coming Friday. I'm going to deliver dictionaries along with Julie Rahm from the Valley Mall and Sunrise Rotary. We're delivering dictionaries to Sharpsburg Elementary School.
Good.
And to see how kids' eyes light up in those formative years and as third graders to getting a hardback or a softback, paperback dictionary is unreal. And then have them to look up a few words, because they're in those years now where they've got to learn to read now, and that's what they're doing in the third grade, is learning how to read. And by learning how to read in the third grade, they're going to learn then what they need to know the rest of their life. So they're going to read to learn.
Yeah.
So that's what they're learning. They're learning to read, and then they're going to read to learn, and that means so much to them to have that dictionary.
let's talk about bright spots at the candidate forum for the Board of Education. You mentioned one with Wayne Ridenhour. Tell me, Bickford, Brightman, Martin, Murray, Ridenhour, Stauffer, Williams. Who were your bright spots? Who surprised you? Who met your expectations? Who outperformed your expectations?
You know, I love Wayne. You know, Wayne is absolutely a great guy, but I know him personally, so I'm going to be a little bit biased. Bickford and Martin both surprised me in that, you know, I mean, here we have people that are not from an education background, but they did very well on their answers to the forum questions.
I like Bickford and I like Martin. I like what they stood for. Donna Brightman being a member of MABE, I mean,
yeah,
that's a big deal, being a member of MABE. Like John Barr. John Barr, when he ran for county commissioners, one of the things that he wanted to do, he's the president of the Maryland Association of Counties.
Right, big deal.
And he's been a major factor in getting Governor Hogan up here, getting Governor Hogan at the museum, getting Hogan to do different things, and that happened by his position there.
To have a panel meeting in Hagerstown.
At the Maryland Theater, by the way. But the person that surprised me more than anybody was Linda Murray.
Okay.
I never realized the depth of knowledge that Linda Murray had.
All right, so I got to tell you, Bickford, I expected great things from him. He delivered. Donna Brightman, I've had many conversations with Donna. There are several things that Donna and I will disagree on, but I think that Donna is a very intelligent lady. I think the Maryland Association of Board of Education, I think that's a very important piece for us as a county. I think it increases our level of gravitas, if you will, at the state. I think that Al Martin, that financial background, is desperately needed at our Board of Education. I think that Wayne Ridenauer is always a favorite of mine. I have supported Wayne for many years, and like you, the sleeper for me was Linda Murray. I sat back and I was listening to what she said, and I thought, wow, I thought I had my candidates picked out. I got to tell you, she's now in the mix. I don't know where that comes out, but she absolutely had a lot of good things to say, and she was well read on all of it.
Yeah.
I'm still undecided on who I want to vote for, honestly. I really am, because we have so many good candidates. That's a good thing. I like that.
So I want to get into one last thing. We've only got about a minute left, and this is a little off topic, but there's been a lot of news here recently about the issue with Karen Harshman, and most recently, both the Herald Mail newspaper has suggested she needs to resign or be removed. Justin Hardings is starting the process of removal. There's actually a web page suggesting where you can sign a petition to have her removed. That is the way to do it. I looked up the Maryland code. Yes or no? Did she do anything wrong? Is she someone that is salvageable?
Did she do something wrong? Yes, absolutely she did something wrong. She should not have went and made accusations like that, especially if they were unfounded, or if she hadn't gone through proper channels first. The whole situation is just unfortunate, in my opinion, and I'm honestly concerned about her state of mind. I am not holding this against her as a person. I am more concerned about her than I am angry.
Ron?
Is it an impeachable offense? It could be. Has there been some serious allegations laid out and names not named that when you start something, you better be ready to finish it. And if you're going to start and bring out names and have names, and don't bring those names out when the proper authorities are there to bring them out, I have problems with that. I'm like you. I've known Karen Harshman forever. I've always liked Karen Harshman. I hope there's not something that's there that we don't know about. So I wouldn't go strong on Karen until I personally talk to her, because she has to have some type of a logical explanation.
I hope you're right. I hate to judge before the facts are in, and I don't know Ms. Harshman at all. I've maybe said hi to her a couple of times. But I can tell you that aside from the Herald Mail and Justin Hardings, both of which I have great respect for, the editorial staff at the Herald Mail and Justin, I've had others that have suggested that, there may be ulterior motives, and I don't know whether that's true or not, but, given her relationship and with the person that she accused, given her relationship with Dr. Wilcox,
Right.
If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck. Anyway, I'm going to take the last word on that. Up next, our panel weighs in on another war on drug prices. We're back in 3 minutes. We hope you are too.